What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to something slightly different. Whoa, don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. It's still cringe, it's still stupid, and it's still me. What more could you possibly want? I thought, though, it might be nice to maybe deviate from our typical sources of severe brain rot by having a bit of a laugh, because I, myself, I have a love for comedy. I enjoy comedians of all shapes and sizes, and there is no better comedian in my eyes than our Lord and Savior, Randy Feltface. So, make sure you go check out Randy Feltface. He's actually, like, slowly starting to become very based. Oh, God. He's slowly becoming very based, apparently. He's actually, like, aware of Twitch streamers, and apparently he's, like, very funny, apparently. So, go check out his YouTube channel. He does a lot of stuff, and let's watch. So, this excerpt was called the Gumroad Experience. Yeah. And listen, if anyone's trustworthy, a pink ballsack looking person is definitely trustworthy for evaluating things. Let's get this.
Okay, fuck. Okay, here we go. Okay. Walking to Sky, Chapter 1. I bought a bookshelf on Gumtree recently. It was
Oh, and for context, so what I was told about this is that this entire show was him supposed to be debuting a book that he wrote, and for the entirety of the entire thing, he keeps like sidetracking from it. So apparently this is just one of his many tangents.
An amazing experience. I'll quickly tell you about it and then I'll read the book. But I found it strange because it made me start to think about the way, like, our methods of communication have sort of changed over the years.
I have never used Gumtree.
You know? In the old days, if you wanted a bookshelf, you'd just go see Gareth the bookshelf guy, because he was the dude in
Gareth,
your tribe
the trustworthy
that made
man.
the bookshelf.
I too know a Gareth. He owes me money.
Reputable. Now any mad bastard can sell their shit on Gumtree. You know what I mean? As a species, we're sort of able to
oh no, wait, I did sell
and
something on Gumtree once. I sold my bed and felt very sorry for the person who got it.
That's like the limit of our tribe. Any more than that, it starts to get confusing, which is why we created abstract constructs like
I have to say, this guy is instantly better than most comedians I watch because he hasn't sworn and said fuck in the first 5 seconds. Loud does not always equal funny.
We only really gather en masse on special occasions. But I think, like, social media and it's fucking all that up, you know? I don't think we're
interacting with people in real life.
People we're connected to on a daily basis, and as a result, we neglect our immediate 150. You know?
To this day, I believe the only acceptable way of selling anything online is eBay or Facebook Marketplace, because that way, you know you're not going to end up running into a psychopath.
It's because I'm not on Facebook and everybody just
other way around. You're guaranteed to run into a psychopath.
I am so behind on the births, deaths, and marriages of my friends that I feel like the time traveler's wife every time I go to a party. I'm like, this is...
Dude, I can't even be on Facebook anymore. My account got hacked. So thanks, hackers, you did me a favor.
Dad, Tim, he's our son. He's 6 now.
Wait, is that your dad, Makari?
Didn't even know you were pregnant.
I'm seeing the similarities in type of hair and personality.
Anyway, and you know smartphones aren't that great. You know that, right? They're not that great. You don't need
my phone is a paperweight. True and real, Mr. Randy Feltface.
You don't need it. You don't need that much information. And also, what was the point of developing opposable thumbs for you to take a photo of your head, post it on the internet, and then just stand by for validation?
Pure and utter brain rot.
No one gives a fuck about your head. They'll only validate it in order
selfies
to gain
are cringe. Not that I take selfies at all.
and stand by for validation. The people who give a fuck about your head.
Did Randy just literally analogize the entirety of the content creation sphere? Listen, just because I have such low self-esteem that I need constant validation by trying to up my numbers as much as possible in an ongoing endeavor to try and have as many people validate my existence as possible, only to then realize that they are then making fun of me rather than laughing with me.
Richard Mario gift.
And given the gifted sub, don't, guys. We're trying to record a video. Don't start. Come on.
Will at some point see it in real life. Fuck your head and the neck it rode in on.
Oh.
Your vanity is sucking up my bandwidth.
Yes! Preach! Preach, Randy! Preach! Tell all those VTubers to stop being so vain and commissioning $14,000 models.
In the search in Booktree, what the fuck? when you put something in the search on Gumtree, I'm having a stroke up here.
Yo, you too, Randy,
when you put
you
something in
too.
the search, right, and like, there's always a couple of things that come up in the list that are like the polar opposite of what you search
Isn't that a funny
for.
thing as well? Like creating a puppet to be the voice for you. Like if he says something immensely explicit and controversial, well, I didn't say it. It was the puppet that said the expletive. Oh! Has there actually been a model worth 40? Yes. In fact, the record currently sits at $21,000 for a VTube model. I have a friend who bought one for $13,000. That is the egregious equivalent of a selfie in the VTube sphere. Nobody needs to be that vain. I'm just saying.
I'm like, get out of my head, Gumtree algorithms, conspiracy. No, but seriously, you type it's like bookshelf, and it's like bookshelf, 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 gramophone, bookshelf,
Dildo,
bookshelf,
dildo.
combine harvester. What the fuck? It's actually
Somebody's
pretty
selling
good price.
something that's just a Craigslist advertisement so they can get
on this
laid.
particular day, I found
Yo,
two
yeah, dude,
bookshelves
can I
that
check out your
worked for me
combine
in
harvester?
terms of
Yeah, you can
cost
come by and
more
harvest my...
importantly, geographical convenience. 'Cause
You know what I
I'd be
mean,
fucked
right?
if I'm driving to
Basically the
Broadmeadow
new
to pick up a
Craigslist.
bookshelf, right? So I type in bookshelf
How many
and I
of
see
these
the two
are
things. I'm
ads
like,
for
okay, one
sex?
salary is Kathy, the other is Morgan. I send them both the same
Morgan?
text message.
That's a good
Hello,
name.
I saw your bookshelf on Gumtree. Is it still available? Kathy texts back straight away saying, sorry, it went this morning. That's cool, Kathy. I'm
Dude,
sorry
I
gave
would never have the confidence to message people on these platforms. Like, normal people scare me. Like, if I knew what I was buying was from some nerd who did, like, YouTube and Twitch, no problem. Because we're both as mentally ill as each other. But dealing with normies? Like, I can't turn up at someone's door who's a normie and be like, hey, you did a pull in Genshin, right? Yeah, those pulls in Genshin, eh? Because they're gonna think that I'm attacking them and phone the police. However, that conversation with a nerdy person's totally fine. Because they're like, oh yeah, fam, in it, faux shizzle. Yeah, I totally pulled a 5-star in Genshin. That Mona friggin' did, yeah.
you an annoying voice in the retelling of this story. Morgan's response came through a couple of minutes later and simply read, it was my wife's bookshelf.
Oh dear, trauma
How do
dumping.
you respond to that?
Oversharing
Aside from the fact that it doesn't
was
answer
my wife's bookshelf.
fucking question,
So the wife is dead.
His use of past tense in that sentence unnerved me slightly. I'm like, oh, I should probably just find another bookshelf. And then I noticed he lived in the suburb next to me, so I replied, is it still available?
Ooh, you are
He
getting yourself in
responded
some
with
shit.
the letter Y. Just a Y.
Why?
Is he asking me why?
I have a personal detestment for people who use text speech at all. Like, in a text, I can imagine. It's, like, sure, the only place it's acceptable. But when people start using text speech on, like, Discord, over the over the computer, or anywhere else other than actual text, it pisses me off. There were kids in my high school that used to talk to each other with text speech. Like, they'd walk up to each other and go, lol, lamau, ruffle. And just, why? Why? Next thing you're going to expect is they're going to walk along with their hands in front of them like they're typing, going, la 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 la, ruffle, ruffle, man, ruffle, man. Are you really rolling on the floor laughing? Are you really? Lamau, you're laughing your ass off? Well, why don't you then?
I want to know if it's still available, or is it a Y for yes, and he's so in the throes of grief that he can't manage the E and the S? I assume it's a Y for yes, so I respond, cool, I'll take it. When's a good time to come and pick it up? No reply for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, he's forgotten about me, fuck it, I'll find another bookshelf. And then when his reply actually does come through, I realise he spent those 15 minutes crafting his response.
no.
Because it's a fucking
Oh
thesis.
no, he's using freaking Gumtree as a psychotherapy session. I'm selling my bookshelf that my wife owned. Oh, you should hear the story about how she was. She was a beautiful woman. I loved her since the day that I met her, and she passed away after getting trampled by a goldfish. Oh, it was such an unforeseen circumstance. No one would have known that the goldfish would have gone rabid. Oh, hark! And then you have to sit there being their therapist.
He must must have felt so bad about only using a single consonant
I wanted
in
to
his
buy
previous
a
text
bookshelf,
that he just
not your life story.
massively overcompensated with this one. Also, for some reason, felt that the use of punctuation entirely unnecessary. So it's just
Punctuation?
one obscenely long
I'm not
sentence,
punching anyone.
which
Why'd I punch
reads,
anyone?
You must
fuck
come
is
and pick up
punctuate?
now. I only have short time here at house, and also it wide. So bring van
Yo,
or trailer
Sandra, I'm
and
sorry,
their
thanks for
stair,
following.
but I can help you carry downstairs. If you come park out front, walk up past ring bell, and I will help you carry it to trailer.
Hello, chat and YouTube. It's nice to meet you. I hope you do well today. I hope you have good time watching content, not having good time, bad time. You must come to stream all time, every time. Never question or take breath to punctuate anything. Smiley face.
Or van. I only
Yes?
accept cash, and if you do not come now, I will sell it someone else.
He's a monster. Actual monster.
Again, I'm thinking, I should just find another bookshelf at this point. But now I am fascinated by Morgan, and I simply must meet the man. So
You must
I
meet the
drive over to
man.
his house. Oh, before I left, I sent him a message saying, cool, I'll be there in 10 minutes. He replied, okay, but spelled it O-K-A-Y, which just fascinated me more that he'll use 4 letters to spell a 2-letter word, but only 1 letter to spell a 3-letter word. Morgan is off the fucking chain!
Damn, Morgan sounds like a riot. Morgan sounds like a puzzle that needs to be deciphered. I love this guy. I love the way Randy presents it. I have seen some of Randy's stuff before, never full show, and only excerpts from some other stuff. And this one specific, I've never seen. But I fucking love how as a puppet, how animated and funny he is. He's got a great voice as well.
Driving over to his house, I'm trying to picture what he's going to be like, you know. His pidgin English might suggest ethnicity of some sort, but I don't want to racially profile him. Maybe he's an old man.
Come on,
who recently
Randy,
lost
you
his
might be
wife and he's not
Australian,
that
but doesn't
very
mean
good at texting.
everybody's
Or
racially
maybe,
profiled.
and I'm really hoping this is the case,
Yeah, no,
Morgan
Saturday,
is
we're not
just
going to react to the full
batshit
shows.
crazy. So
Not much point. Too long. Like
I
my
get
dick.
to his house and I go up to the. I park out front, walk up past ring bell, and I brace myself for the door to be opened by like
Come on,
an
tell
old
me it's
man
some
in a
really
smoking
skinny Caucasian guy. Tell me that your racially profiled stereotype is wrong. Please tell me that it is the skinny white guy from Craigslist that was actually looking for you to be the third wheel of their threesome. Please.
jacket.
Tell me if this was
wearing
all just one big
fishnet
sex act.
stockings and suspenders, just puffing on an opium pipe, while a butler just creepily polishes a goldfish in the background.
You see, it is the comedian's rule of thumb to use goldfish to explain anything. Nobody expects the goldfish to be used for an explanation. I didn't pre-watch this. I just understand comedy.
And then a tiny pug dog wearing a fez hat just trots up the hallway, sits on the mat, looks
This
up
is what
at
we
me
call
and says,
taking a
"Welcome
ride
to
with
our
your joke."
lovely room." And then the door opens and I am thoroughly disappointed. Before me stands an average Caucasian male in his
Told
mid-30s,
you.
dressed casually, hipster chic, stubble, glasses with designer frames, expensive watch. I immediately think architect, but the house is too cheesy for that. It's like a double-story doll's house with bay windows. But definitely a designer of some kind, maybe a graphic
midlife
designer.
crisis
He's too
has this
skinny for
person
manual
had?
labour. He's too hip for the public sector. But this can't be Morgan. Because Morgan's text messages would suggest that he's not that technically savvy. And then the man standing in front of me says,
Or he's
"Hello,
having a
my
midlife
name's Morgan."
crisis.
And the plot thickens!
The plot thickens! Don't we love it when plot thickens? Look, ladies and gentlemen, my plot has thickened. Don't we all love it when plot goes even deeper and wider and depther? The plot is what drives everything within our conundrumous world. Yes! Anyway.
He invites me in, shakes my hand, closes the door, and 20 minutes later, I will be witnessing Morgan perform some of the most aggressive acts of violence I've ever seen in
What?
my life. And
What?
I will be speeding away in my car, bleeding from the face.
What? Randy is clearly leading the main protagonist life. My God. How do you go from buying a bookshelf to being the main star in the next Die Hard movie? Also, if you want an example about how you be a comedian with no filter, whilst also not making every single joke about trans people, prime example. Or gay people.
Here's how this
or black
shit
people.
went down.
Or any racially profiled characters.
I go into the house and I notice two things immediately. One, this is a house in the throes of renovation. Nothing too extreme, but there's like drop sheets on all the furniture, there's freshly painted walls, there's a bathtub wrapped in plastic in the hallway awaiting installation. Someone's doing some work on this house. The second thing I notice, on the way up the stairs...
Or is it a Psycho moment where they're covered in sheets because he committed a murder? Oh, does the plot thicken further? Did he commit a murder and he's selling the evidence that the blood traces are all spattered across? The plot thickens!
To the second floor, on the first floor landing, is a wedding photograph featuring a very cleanly shaven Morgan
killed his wife.
with a very beautiful
He killed his
bride.
wife.
Very much in
Randy
love.
is part of a
The
murder
photograph is very
investigation
much
now.
on the floor, and the glass in the frame is very much smashed. She's not dead, she's left him, and the plot thickens a bit more for Morgan. And as Morgan unceremoniously, kicks the photo frame.
Oh, wait, no, that actually makes sense. No, we shouldn't have just jumped to the conclusion that he'd killed her. The more obvious and the more rational thing is that she left him. Of course, us, our immensely neurodiverse, very socially awkward selves, presume that the first thing is... Why? Well, there is something wrong with us if the first thing we presume is murder. Rather than, you know, the rational thing is that he's gotten a divorce. Oh, no. Oh dear.
One side on the way up the stairs, I really wanted to pry into Morgan's life.
This is also why I would never want to buy something from someone on Gumtree. I just want to get the thing. I don't want to have to be part of their life story. Like going around somebody's house to buy something. Sure, you might get the thing, but you don't know what's going to happen when you get there. Sure, most times you might get there, get the thing and leave. But there's that one instance where you might be able to get there and then they're like, oh, do you want to come in for a cup of tea? Do you want to join us for dinner? As they say, licking their lips. And you're then suspiciously aware that there's no actual food in the house and there's a plate with your name on it. Surprise! Cannibals! Nobody wants surprise cannibals. Nobody! Not there are good surprises, like surprise boobs, surprise a surprise throne purchase, a surprise the cash settlement of money delivered to your doorstep. A surprise return of your dad from the shops for the last 7 years. But surprise cannibals? No. Look, James, I was avoiding the surprise butt sex. Come on. Not everything has to be a butt joke. Except your mum.
But he was clearly a broken man. He had this terrible air of sadness around him, so I didn't want to intrude. Luckily for me, though, I didn't have to, because Morgan immediately began oversharing and told me the whole fucking story.
And this is why.
Morgan, I shall hang off your every word and then retell your tale to 200 strangers and record it for a fucking DVD.
Randy is literally explaining and allegorizing the entire notion of being a content creator. Make everything content. You went for a shit, you turned that into an entire play. You got to take part in a threesome for the first time, you damn well bet that's going to be part of a skit. You damn well bet. Your first time going to the shop and you stubbed your toe, oh, that's going to be in a comedy. Just like reactionary content. Me watching a video could have just been something we did on stream, but no, we turned it into React Andy content bullshit.
He does massive rebranding campaigns for large corporations.
You lot of children, you're on Twitch, Ultraviolet. Do you expect any different?
About 4 years ago, a woman hired Morgan to rebrand her florist business, and he did such a great job.
Wow.
Married
Fighting
him.
the xenomorphs?
And he thought everything was just fine, until about 3 months ago. Morgan had to do a presentation in Sydney, right? But he was on his way home from overseas.
Oh,
and
so
he
we're
got
gonna find
stuck
out
in
why.
Dubai due to a flight cancellation. So rather than cancel the meeting, Morgan suggested to these businessmen in Sydney that they do a Skype chat because he's so technologically savvy, despite his fucking baffling text message style. So Morgan checks into a hotel.
Listen, it's not tech savvy, a lack of tech savviness. It's just laziness. I mean, if I was having a midlife crisis, the first thing to go for me would be my spelling too.
Cracks open his laptop and starts Skyping with this room full of businessmen in Sydney who are all watching Morgan on a massive screen on their boardroom wall, right? And everything's going great. Morgan is totally
I know what's gonna happen. I can predict it already. He's in a conference call, and he turns on his camera and he flashes his dick. Or no, wait, no.
Nailing it.
Well, I
until
mean,
about
Ultraviolet,
halfway
we are
through,
a
he
community
realizes
of
that
sorts
a
here.
file he wants to
Sometimes
show these
we're
dudes is on the
memers, sometimes we have
desktop
serious
of his home
conversations.
computer back in his
We like
home office
to
in Melbourne.
be
And
diverse
he decides
with a
to
wide
live
range of
share
sentiments.
the desktop of his home computer on the Skype chat. He knows how to do that. He can control his computer
Oh
remotely
no, he's gonna flash his porn. Oh, he's gonna remote desktop to his computer and flash porn.
anywhere in the world. It's not particularly new technology, but Morgan makes it sound so impressive. So this room full of businessmen are all watching keenly like, Margaret, bring in some biscuits. There's some newfangled shit going on in here.
Oh my god, technology? Oh, this is going to be delightful, yes. Yeah, just, you know, it's like the equivalent of the aunt, your like 70-year-old aunt asking you to help them figure out how to access their emails, and you simply bringing up the task manager makes it look like you're Mr. Hackerman.
As Morgan clicks a few buttons and brings up the desktop of his home computer on the Skype chat. Now, what Morgan doesn't realise is that his wife has been using the photo booth app on that particular computer.
Oh no, his wife's cheating on him.
To take pictures of herself. To take naked pictures of herself.
Oh no.
To take naked pictures of herself doing some pretty fucked up shit.
Oh.
It's embarrassing to say the least. Just as Margaret came back in with the biscuits, I've got you the...
Yo, free porn?
Now, those of you who...
Harold, what filth are you watching? You told me there was going to be technological prowess here and decorum. All I see is nudity, naked vaginas and penises. Oh, Harold, you dirty old bastard.
Who are familiar with the photo booth app will know that how it works is it accesses the built-in camera in your computer and with a click of a button takes a photo of you when you're standing in front of the screen. And if you know that, you'll also know that if you leave that application open, the camera also stays open, witnessing whatever may be happening in front of the computer in real time.
Oh, I can start feeling why he's so
Such as your
disheveled now.
wife, in your home office, fucking your best mate.
A story as old as time itself, and now the plot has unveiled. But that still doesn't explain how Mr. Morgan ends up with a bloody face. Morgan! Pour one out for Morgan. Pour one out.
Then goes
There
on
is
to tell
nothing
me
worse
she's
than getting
keeping the
cheated on.
house.
Jesus
His
Christ.
former best mate is moving in.
Especially from your
And
best
while
mate.
they're out for the day
Well, like
happily
ex-best mate at
shopping
that
for
point.
fittings, Morgan must suffer the
F from
indignity
the
of
chat for
moving
Morgan,
his
guys.
shit out and selling the
Feels
stuff
bad,
they
man.
don't want on Gumtree to this guy. It's at this point of the story.
You know how I was making the reference earlier about being the third wheel in a threesome? Yikes. You have now Randy, you have now inadvertently become involved in someone's affair. Oh dear.
That Morgan starts crying. He breaks down, and I do not blame the man. It's fucking horrible.
You could have, you know, you could have avoided this, Randy, by just buying a shelf from somebody else. I'm just saying.
But I am holding the full weight of a bookshelf halfway down a set of stairs, and Morgan is the only thing stopping that bookshelf from caving my face in. I was like, Morgan!
Morgan!
And Morgan managed to pull himself together for about 8 seconds and then just went, bah, and let the bookshelf go. I fell backwards. It literally...
I do wonder, though. Like, it is a comedian's job to find content and everything. I wonder how much embellishing there is to this. Like, I'm presuming, like, this happened. But how much of this is embellished, right? Like, I can imagine this story's true, but how much of it is just, like, the comedic addition, you know?
rolled over me and took out.
Because you got to make something that's kind of funny into something that's hilarious as a comedian. Like, you know, if you make a story about the fact you stubbed your toe. Oh man, I stubbed my toe. But did I tell you about how I saw Pennywise walking his pet goldfish beforehand? Yo, that was the funniest shit I'd ever seen.
Glass, as the bookshelf turned end over end, it just went thunk right through a freshly painted wall at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like,
I'm gonna come.
I got a tiny cut on my forehead, which is just pissing blood for some reason.
Okay, so that's how we get to the cut.
Apart from that, I'm fine.
But you've now paid for this with blood.
Morgan, however, he's not fine. Morgan is the opposite of fine. Something happened when the bookshelf lodged itself in the wall, and his sadness just went away in a second, and he started pissing himself laughing.
Do we need to add the tag mind break to this story? In today's story, we get to see a man lose his shit. Hashtag mind break. Hashtag cheating. Hashtag fucked mate, innit?
Hysterical, and he had the creepiest laugh I've ever heard
Shut up,
in
Billy.
my life. I'm standing going, this is weird, and he's going like some sort of demonically possessed baritone kookaburra. It's like,
I mean, I can never chastise someone for having a stupid laugh. Have you heard mine? Have you heard the way I fucking laugh? I can never be upset at the way somebody else's laugh, considering I sound like a deflating balloon.
Can I still have the bookshelf?
He's gonna follow shockwave.
We extracted from the wall. The bookshelf, incidentally, showing no sign of having just rolled down a staircase and smashed through a wall. We carried it out to my car. We had to stop about 6 times because Morgan was like, hang on a minute. We got it to my car, put it on the trailer, and Morgan was in such a great mood, he let me have the bookshelf for free.
Yeah, free bookshelf! Everyone loves a bit of free shit, right? It just came with some mental trauma. That it?
And that's where the story should end.
Well, got my answer.
But there was something about the bookshelf going through the wall that flipped a fucking switch in Morgan's head.
We're gonna have to really watch some more comedy at some point. This shit is good. You guys are loving this, right? If you guys are liking this, whether you're on my Twitch right now or you're watching this on YouTube later, if you want me to watch more comedians, I'm gonna focus on Randy for a bit because he is like he's the only comedian I found recently that I've really connected with. But if you guys have suggestions for stuff that's like this, please suggest it to me. I would love to do more exposés on good comedians. Specifically ones that don't make loud equals funny content. Specifically ones that actually have formulation and cohesiveness to what they do. Because otherwise, we just sit here listening to somebody talk about stereotypes the entire time. And that's not structured or funny.
For more destruction.
Oh, Gabriel Iglesias, that's a good idea.
Tying the bookshelf down to my trailer, Morgan just strolls over to like an upright mailbox on the front lawn.
Hang on, we might go and watch that actually.
Starts trying to wrench it out of the ground, just really putting his back into it. Like,
oh no, literal mind break.
I'm like, you okay, buddy? He's like, yeah.
Ricky Gervais? Ricky Gervais. James, how many drugs have you done this morning? Watching Ricky Gervais is the equivalent of stubbing your toe with a toothpick under your toenail on purpose. No. He fucks comedy like he fucked The Office. No.
He pulls it out of the ground, whereupon he wields it like a fucking battle axe and just starts smashing up
Yeah,
the
no, he's
front
mind broken.
garden,
He's gone.
just beheading
He's
the
lost. You can't
daisies,
stop him.
fucking up the lavender. I'm like, hey Morgan, maybe you want to stop and think about that. And he wheeled around.
Oh, really, Jal?
and
We'll watch
looked
that
at me
tomorrow
like
then.
Jack Nicholson chasing Shelley Duvall up the stairs in The Shining, and said, "Why don't you mind your own fucking business?"
Oh, he's gone.
Yep, cool man. Yep. Now, I like tying knots. I'm quite good at tying knots. If I tie something down, I take my time because I want it to stay there. But as Morgan nonchalantly strolled up the driveway, rolled up the garage door, and put the mailbox through the windscreen of an Audi,
Oh. You've lost him.
I kind of rushed
It's at this point you phone the police.
my knot tying job. I got in the car, I'm about to drive off. I'm like looking at the house going, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then an armchair.
Don't fool yourself! You've just watched a man literally mind snap himself. This dude's on such a bender. There is nothing fine about this situation. Not Morgan, not his mind, certainly not his wall, certainly not his Aldi. Nothing about this. At this point, you need to do a wellness check on this man. You need to like sit there with him and say, it's okay, guy, calm down. It's okay. It's not that bad. At which point you then should probably, have some self-defense on you just in case, because de-escalate. You literally caused this. It is somewhat your responsibility to help de-escalate it.
Smashed out of an upstairs window and just went doink, 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 doink down the front lawn. I was like, what's my duty of care in this situation? I didn't want to call the cops on him. I didn't want him to trash the house. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to talk to Morgan. So
Yeah, you talk to
I
Morgan.
walked up the driveway, shitting myself. You know when someone does something really violent and you're just like, fuck, we're not supposed to do shit like that.
Violence scares me.
Yucky,
I can't
just
handle.
yucky
Dude,
feeling in my-
admittedly, if I was in this situation, I would be shitting myself as well. I cannot handle confrontation. Like, even if I know the guy, even if I know I'm not the reason that they're angry, I hate confrontation. It's probably my neurodivergency kicking in. But oh my god, confrontation actually terrifies me.
Tum-tum, and I'm standing there in the garage, and there's like an adjoining door in the garage that leads into the house. I can see in through the door into the house, up the staircase. It's like a wooden staircase, and I'm standing in the garage just going,
Morgan?
Like I was calling a cat for its dinner. Like, Morgan! Muggy. And then I notice a small trickle of water start to come from the top step.
Oh my god.
And then
this just
a
goes
little
from
bit
bad to
more
worse.
water, and then quite a lot of water. Just pissing down.
I don't sound skeptical. I think this might be the embellished part I was talking about earlier. Like, I can kind of believe everything from that first bit, but this sounds like the script to a really bad indie movie. Like, Morgan and the Wifening or something. Like, you're literally one Pennywise cameo away from this being an actual movie.
On the stairs like a shitty water feature. I'm like, that can't be right. And then Morgan appeared on the top step holding a hammer like this. Bah! I was like, whoa! He's like, starts running at me, wielding the hammer. Going,
I mean,
I'm like,
I'm not going to question it.
I just wanted to buy a bookshelf. He's like, run straight past me. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, made a beeline for my car. I'm like, no man, stop. He's like, stop it, just stop. He spins around and goes, I just checked my phone. She texted me 15 minutes ago saying she'll be here in 15 minutes. We gotta go! And gets into my car.
Oh dear. Oh
Jesus.
no.
Fuck me. I run down the lawn, get in the driver's seat. I'm like, what was with the water? He goes, I put plugs in all of the sinks and turned all the taps on. I'm like, that's fucked. He's like, just drive. I was like, nah. I took up so quick, rounded the corner at the end of his street, and the bookshelf just went,
Is it? Wait. Is he doing this because the freaking... Oh, wait. If he's getting a divorce, maybe he's doing this because the house is being left to the wife. And he's like, you know what? The house will be left to you, but it's gonna be like you. Fucked.
And exploded against the guardrail. Just exploded in a
Oh
shower
no, the
of
bookshelf.
badly tied knots and broken
So now you have
dreams.
nothing.
So me and Morgan just fucking left it there. Like a little breadcrumb for his ex-wife to find on the way home to her destroyed gingerbread house.
Oh dear.
I dropped Morgan at a train station. I have never seen him again. And that, my friends, is why I no longer shop on Gumtree. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oh my god, that's fucking brilliant. I love this guy. I love this guy. He's so funny. We need to watch more of this guy.
Fuck.
Is that it?
You know my favourite bit of that story?
Ooh.
I just made it up.
You piece of shit! No! 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 I was so immersed! I was so immersed! I was so immersed! Oh, wait, is this because he's like the whole story thing? He wrote a story, isn't talking about it, but then shows how easy it is to tell a story? Yo, just like my brain, we made it all up. Oh my god. Dude, talk about... I mean, he's a very good storyteller, the fact that I believe it. This is how you lie with Riz. This is how you tell a story and make it believable. Like, you come up with... Like, to make anything... And to make any story believable, and he knew how to do it, to make any story believable, you come up with hyper-detailed, specific things that you remember. Like, him saying, oh yes, Morgan, he was this hipster dude with hipster glasses, well-been. Like, if you start explaining things in hyper-detail, people will believe you and put their faith in you, because nobody, in most situations, nobody keeps track. Like, if somebody's lying, you usually miss out specifics. But if you're hyper focusing and you pick out really hyper specific details, people are much more likely to believe you, because it's just... And the thing is, he's even balancing the cadence of like comedy telling as well. Like, he's obviously embellishing this. Like, he's doing like a double tundra. He's literally embellishing an embellished story. Like, you could believe this was a story that was real, and he's also adding the comedic effect to it. This guy's a legitimate genius. What the hell?
Yeah, it's not true.
Absolute hoodwinked. So,
It's very unsatisfying, isn't it?
no kidding! I just wasted 40 minutes of my f***ing life. But I still got a laugh, so I guess it's not really wasted, is it?
But I saw him in my head.
That's called mind break, and maybe, Randy, you need to see a psychiatrist.
I saw Morgan in my head.
What great creativity, though.
Why is it we can feel so robbed when someone tells...
I think that's the entire skit. I would watch the entire thing, but this is the entire thing's an hour long. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think about comedians. I don't know what you think about this kind of format. I'm testing the waters for watching comedians like this. If you guys liked this, let me know in the comments. Let me know some suggestions for others. If you guys want to see the entire thing, then let me know. I've just also noticed there's somebody called Morgan the Mad in my chat. And I don't think that can be more fitting! Morgan! 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 Oh my god, that's fucking great. Okay. So yes, please let me know. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe, all that kind of stuff that you should do. And I'll see you guys in the next video, and we'll see what we do with these comedians. Damn. Morgan's been in my chat probably going, why is he talking about me? Why is this scrotum looking puppet talking about me? Oh my god.